Undisputed.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Congratulations, Matthew Stafford, NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
So,
How you doing, Skip?
what's your point?
I'm just saying I just want to congratulate Matthew Stafford. We in L.A. We are Rams fans. We're in L.A. We root Dodgers, Rams, Lakers.
10 cases right now that Tampa has a better record than the Rams.
Yeah.
10 cases. Okay?
No,
I'll
no.
bet you 10 cases that Tom Brady finishes higher in MVP than Matt Stafford does.
No, give me the field.
Okay, I just shut you down twice.
You got give me the field. You got Tom Brady. I got the field.
All I know is I would like to talk about LeBron James and the Dallas Cowboys.
Go.
That's all that really matters, right?
LeBron likes the Cowboys, too. That's a good sign. Okay, we're going to get to the Cowboys, I promise. But, yeah, since you mentioned those L.A. teams, Shannon, your Lakers, we got to talk about LeBron as he will enter next season almost 3,000 points behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to take over as the NBA's all-time scoring leader. And when asked about LeBron coming for his seemingly unbreakable record, Kareem said, quote, "I'm excited to see it happen. I don't see records as personal accomplishments, but more as human achievements. We all win when a record is broken, and if LeBron breaks mine, I will be right there to cheer him on." So, Shannon, how important do you believe this record is to your guy LeBron?
Before I answer that question, Skip, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the very few athletes that I believe that when he says something, I absolutely unequivocally believe everything that he says.
Co-sign. Glad you brought that up.
I just do.
You want to talk about a deep thinker? He might be as deep a thinker as we've ever had in sports.
He very well could be, Skip. I think it's a big deal. I think for the fact, Skip, that he's so close. This is not something that LeBron James set out to do because remember, when they talk about great scores, LeBron James is never, ever mentioned. And I can assure you when Kareem set this record, I remember when he set the record and he ended his career with all these, with this 38,000 points. If someone would have said, okay, I'm going to give you 50 guesses, who do you think break this record? I guarantee you nobody would have said LeBron James because they don't think of him as a scorer like Kobe. They don't think of him as a scorer like Jordan or like Kevin Durant or like some of the other all-time great scorers. But yet, here we are. He's, 120 games of 25 points or 18 points, 6 for 2 years. Probably would have broke it this year had he not gotten injured those 2 years. But, hey, that's neither here nor there. Skip, look. This tells me that LeBron James has been good for a very, very long time. And anytime you play for an extended period of time, Skip, and you play at a high level, there's a chance you're going to break this record, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady has the most touchdown passes. He played 20-plus years, played at a very high level. He's about to pass Drew Brees for passing yards, which means he played a long time, played at a very high level. So I don't think that this just goes to show you just how great and for how long LeBron James has been. Guys averaging 27 points for a career, basically the same as Kevin Durant. And so, Skip, when I look at it, he's, 3,021 points behind Kareem. Skip, I don't really know. There's no down to this. There's no negative way you can look at this. He just started out and said, you know what? I'm going to play as hard as I can for as long as I can. And at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I remember when I went to Baltimore, Skip, I was about, 1,400 yards behind Ozzie for all-time receiving yards. Skip, it's not something that I set out to do. I mean, the 7th-round draft pick, you're just like, man, I hope I can get me like 3 years. Hope I can get me 10 years. And next thing you know, I'm like, and I told him, I said, hey, bro, I'm this close. I might as well go in and break it while I'm on your watch. And so I think that's the way LeBron is looking at it. This is not something that, I don't even know how you can set out and say, you know what? I'm going to be the all-time lead scorer in NBA history, Skip. You just play at a high level. You get very, very fortunate that God blessed you with great ability and he blessed you with longevity. And for the most part, with the exception of the 2 of the last 3 years, Skip, you had no injuries that put you down for, say, like a Kevin Durant that missed an entire season or something like that. So for me, there's no negative. LeBron James is going to have this record, and guess what? There's nothing Skip and the other LeBron James haters can do about it.
First of all, I love it how you turned a LeBron breaks Kareem's record topic into Shannon breaks a record of Ozzie. That was beautiful.
No, I'm just... Skip.
Will wonders never cease?
No, all I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say, Skip, is that's not something that I set out to do. Is that I was very fortunate to play.
It was a good, humble brag. In fact, it was great. It might have been all-time great.
There you go.
Yeah, way to go. Now, will wonders never cease when it comes to LeBron breaking this record? Because, just for the record, LeBron is a lousy three-point shooter, and he's a pathetic free throw shooter for a man of his stature. And that guy is going to be the all-time leading scorer in the history of pro basketball.
How many did Kareem make?
Woo. Free throws?
No three-pointers.
Oh, well, he didn't do that, obviously. He's 7 feet 2 inches tall. And I'm glad you brought that up, because Kareem was a career 72% free throw shooter at 7'2". LeBron is a tick higher at 73%, and he is a two-guard. Right. He's not 7'2", he is a two-guard. Mm-hmm. That's phenomenally bad, because already, would you believe that LeBron has missed almost 2,000 more free throws than Kareem missed in his career, because LeBron is a much higher volume free throw shooter than Kareem was. Right. And the other quick point, to just put this into a frame of reference, remember, once the Showtime Lakers got really good in 88, 89, 90, that was their peak years. They won 2 championships and should have won a third. But remember, Magic and Byron pulled their hamstrings in 89 at Detroit, and they got swept by the Pistons when I thought they were going to sweep the Pistons. So in 87, was Kareem the leading scorer on the Showtime Lakers? No, he was the third leading scorer. Right. In 88, he was the third leading scorer. And in 89, he was the 5th leading scorer, while LeBron has never not scored the most points for every team that he's played on.
Except when they won championship. AD.
Okay, but that was per game. Yes. AD had a little higher per game. But because LeBron played more, LeBron scored the most points for the bubble champion Lakers. Okay? The bubble champion.
I love how you
It's bubblicious. It's bubblicious. It's got a big old asterisk in there.
Try to add that in there.
I've still got my cubic zirconia ring. I keep it, under lock and key, because it is so valuable. Okay, so it's interesting, because you said there's no negative to this, but here, this is what's fascinating to me, that now as LeBron James is on final approach to this, and I'm going to also remind you, sir, that if you do combined regular season and playoff points, he's really on final approach, because he's going to break it later this year. Yeah. And I'm sure you will come in here and throw a party that day. Yes, you will. We'll have confetti raining down from the ceiling in here.
No, what we're going to do is that we're saving the celebration for at the end.
Okay. Well, for the championship.
I'm glad you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'll bet you 20 cases right now they don't win the championship. I'm just trying to be a truth teller over here. But here's the point. He's on final approach again, that's going to be a huge night when he breaks, if you combine it, because most people, you stay on just regular season. The regular season it's still a ways away. Right. It's probably going to be mid to later next year, sometime. But this one's going to happen later this coming basketball season. Correct. Okay, so the point is, now LeBron becomes a little bit at cross purposes, because you're already predicting championship. Well, does breaking the record and championship go together? Do they go hand in hand? Because I am not sure they do.
They do.
Because I see a very different LeBron. I started to see a very different LeBron last year, because he has to change the way he plays so that he makes sure he stays on course to break the record.
How did he have to change the way he played?
He shot a career high. He attempted a career high 6.3 three-point shots per game. Obviously, I'm not great. I'm actually pretty good at math, but obviously 3 is better than 2. And LeBron is a savant when it comes to basketball. He is the genius of genii when it comes to basketball IQ. Still has obviously the highest. I think he's the highest ever. You could argue Magic. It's close. We could throw in a couple other people, but I'm going to put LeBron at the top of that list. So he's already figured out. He figured out going into last year, I need to take more threes because it's a quicker path to Kareem. Well, what does Kareem, what does breaking this record mean to him? Well, it's all he's got left to make his pretty pathetic case that he's better than Michael Jordan.
No, Skip. He still has the opportunity. You make it seem like LeBron is on his last leg. See, this is the problem that I'm having with you because you're making it seem like LeBron is averaging 10 points a game and he's just hanging on. He's averaged 25 points for 17 straight seasons. This is not a hanging on record.
Okay, I got it. But he still needs to flip his game upside down because the bubble year, what did he do? He led the league in assists because when he wants to do that, he is highly capable of doing that. And then all of a sudden, his assists dropped dramatically last year because he went from 10.2 all the way down. This is a plunge to 7.8 because he's saying, I got to concentrate on scoring the basketball.
So what role did Dennis Schroeder play in that? Because Dennis Schroeder had almost a career high in assists. So what role did he play as the starting point guard on the team?
LeBron can do whatever LeBron wants to do. That was LeBron's choice is I need to concentrate on Kareem. Suddenly it's about catching Kareem.
So all in 1 year. So 1 year he's like, you know what?
Look at the numbers. He shot up to a career high 6.